All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Right, today is Simon opened up last night. Right, commemorating our brethren, our forefathers. The spirit to revolt and fight against our oppressor. Right, so I'm just wait for get a reader up in here. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom to all the camps and congregations out there keeping the feast days and keeping the commandments and sincerity. All right, so let me see. I'm sharing my screen. Let me get a sound check. If I could. Make sure the sound is good. Yeah, so we just gonna go into a brief history, of Simon and the Maccabees. While we commemorating today, and revolting against our enemies, right? Also, y'all go subscribe to our other channels. We have a backup channel, the Servants backup channel. We got the Servants Philly channel, the Servants Philly 144. Make sure y'all follow Chief Ephraim on Instagram if y'all already don't follow him. Also, a channel called TSP Daggerdon, TSP underscore Dagger DAGGER underscore DON on Instagram. That's another page that we be posting content on as well. So make sure y'all go subscribe to those and follow those pages so y'all can be in the knowing of what we doing and our schedules and stuff like that, feast days, updates on the camp and the body, and just talking about current topics and stuff like that. So just wait for me to get a read. Let me put the link in the chat. Hold up. The link in the chat. All right, let me text the body. Get somebody up in here. Hopefully everybody Monday going good, man. Hell of a week. Hell of a week, God. All right, so it's crazy. We coming across in the season, the day of Simon, and touching this, and there's a lot been going on, man. There's a lot of stuff been going on. The main topic that's been, most popular the past week or so is, the Rodney Hinton situation, right? With Rodney Hinton, and he his son was killed by the police officer, by Esau. Destroyed that brother, and he pretty much revolted. Had that fight spirit, man, that fight or flight spirit. And a lot of our people lost that. A lot of our people ain't got that spirit no more, man. That's why we need to observe these things. Our brothers, the Maccabees and, Simon and Mattathias. These are the type of things we need to remember because, we love to have the energy for each other, right? We love to have the immediate, short, fuse energy for your brother, but when it comes to the enemy, they got to do the ultimate transgression, in order for you to stand against them, in order for you to, fight for a cause. There was a time where, when we fought, we fought for a cause, right? To be quite frankly, we fought for our laws, technically. We died for the purpose of, our sanctuary not being polluted, right? Mattathias and his brethren and his fathers. And that's what we're going to get into today. But, that spirit has left Israel, man, for a very, 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 very long time. And you kind of seeing, a revival of that spirit of like, yo, we getting tired, man. A lot of the injustice that's been going on, a lot of the, the murdering, senseless murder, even in-house, that's going to be addressed. You know what I mean? But the outhouse, Esau coming in and destroying your brother, your sister, without a cause, or how they feel it was justified. You know what I mean? That we getting tired of that, man. And we see that with the brother Rodney Henson. And if y'all, look at the thumbnail for this video, we got Nat Turner, right? We got young brother. Who's this? Mike Allen. All right, we got young brother Shalam. Right, we got the young brother of Nat Turner, right? If everybody's seen everybody's seen the movie Nat Turner, that was a major revolt, a major stand against our enemies, right? So that same type of spirit, kind of hopped on the brother Rodney Henson. And there was another brother I got in the thumbnail. I don't know if y'all remember Christopher Dorner. So Christopher Dorner, some years back, some real good. I think I was in high school at the time this happened. So he pretty much, came against the police, because he was one. There was so much corruption going on in his department. He came against the police and, took out a bunch of them. You know what I mean? Took out a bunch of police that was pretty much effing him over in the department. That same spirit jumped on him. The fight, you fighting for a cause. You standing for something. You know what I mean? It's the saying in the world, like, if you don't, I think how it go? You fall for everything, you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything. It's something like that. So like, forgive me, I can't think of it. I know it's something of that sort. But let me just share my screen real quick. All right, let me see. All right. Let's see. Because a lot of people think that this ain't real, man. A lot of people think that this stuff. Hey, Salakia, let me get a sound check on you. If you gonna read for me, beloved? Let me see. I need you to turn your camera on too, King. If you're gonna be on the stage.
One second, can you hear me?
Can I hear you?
Let me fix this background.
Let me see. Young brother Makai. Kind. How was your day, young King?
It was all right. Hold on.
All right.
You see me?
I can see you.
All right.
All right, so we're going into the Maccabees today, commemorating the day of Simon, right? So first, let's grab open up with a precept real quick. But before we do that, let's open up in the Lord's Prayer. So face the east wherever you are, and we're just gonna open up in the Lord's Prayer real quick.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna open up in the Hebrew, then I'm gonna say it in the English, and then we're gonna start. That's a lot. Get my back. All right, so this is the Lord's Prayer in the Paleo Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Balakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathalanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawatinawa, Wala'a, Tabianawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashai Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Wa Allah, Warth Parath, Lai Walamyam, Amen. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 6. In verse 9, it says, After this manner, therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. Salaki. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 God.
Con.
All right, family. So let's get started. So we gonna just jump into a little brief history, right? Because a lot of Christians, they think, and then some people just think this is a fictional book, and they can't match it up with actual records and history, according to Esau, the white man, right? So the Seleucid Empire pretty much was who we was fighting against, right? The Babylonians, Mesopotamia, right? The Greeks, the Romans, Macedonia, right? Macedonia is mentioned in the Bible, right? And this is Esau's history that they will admit. Okay, and we're gonna grab a couple verses like that too. So real quick, I grab for me Sirach 44 and verse 1. We're just gonna start there. This lesson, I ain't gonna draw this out too long. We ain't gonna be reading too much long because the chapter is kind of lengthy. So I'm gonna just grab a few precepts, open up, and we're gonna go through a couple of history, and then we're gonna talk about the same spirit that our forefather Simon and the Maccabees and his brethren and his father, that they all, held and possessed, and that same type of spirit. We hope through the Most High that we get granted that spirit in the time when He returns, man, to be those hunters in that day, like it says in Jeremiah 16, right? I shall send for many fishers, right? But then we're gonna be hunters, man, right? Have that spirit, have that power to destroy thousands like our forefathers did. All right, so go ahead and read that, Sirach 44 and 1. Bubba Shaw.
44 and 1. Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begot us.
Right? It says, let us now praise famous men. Right, read.
And our fathers that begot us.
Right? And our fathers that begot us. Now, these are the men that our forefathers commemorated and remembered. Like these type of acts. Right? Not for loving the heathen and amalgamating with the nation of the heathen and following after their gods. No. These type of acts and revolting and standing up for our sanctuary, standing up for the temple, standing up for the laws of God. These are the things that's commemorated. These are the things that's, mentioned in the scriptures for us to remember, pretty much forever. Right? So go ahead. Verse 2.
All right. The Lord hath wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning.
Right? It says the Lord hath wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning. Right? Just like the Most High says, in Isaiah 50, let me get that. Give me Isaiah 55. No, it's not 55. Declaring the beginning from the end. Declaring the end from the beginning. Salakia. Let me get that real quick. That's in Isaiah. Salakia. Isaiah 46 and 10. Right?
Huh.
Go ahead, read that when you got it out.
All right. Declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Right? He will do all his pleasure. Right? And you got to think, all the things that happen throughout history, all these things happen because of the Most High. Right? And through the precepts, we know Deuteronomy 32 and 39. Right? Isaiah 40 and 17 and Amos 3 and 7. All these things happen because of the Most High. Right? So, he's declaring a lot of these things and these prophecies, the things that's going to happen in the end from the beginning, right? Let's go back to Sirach 44 and 2, right? It says, the Lord hath wrought glory by them and through his great power from the beginning. right? Verse 3, go ahead, read that.
We have back to Sirach, right?
Back to Sirach, come.
All right, here's what we got. There were some who ruled kingdoms, and some who were known for their strength. Some were wise advisors, and some spoke prophecies.
Come, what translation you got?
I got the good. This might be the wrong one.
Yeah, it should be the GNT. I think the only other translation is GNT and one other translation in Sirach, but I pretty much got to the point. But it says such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and declaring prophecies. Right now we know Moses, right? We got David, Saul. You know, a lot of the our forefathers that's mentioned in the Torah, you know, and it's not about the great things they did. They even made songs about David and Saul. You know, Saul killed his thousands, David his 10,000s, right? Great men that bear rule, right? Known for their power, like it says, right? Renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, right? Solomon was the greatest wise one of the. He got how many books? We got Ecclesiastes, we got Proverbs, we got Wisdom of Solomon, right? And these are things that we can continue to look at and observe and apply it to our lives to become better for the nation, better Israelites towards each other, man. You know, it talks about so many, even in Sirach, it talks about so many things, you know, just how to be a more well-rounded individual when it comes to keeping the laws and pretty much, you know, atomizing the understanding, you know, of the Torah and the law. You know, when you read these books in the Apocrypha, and that's another reason why they took this out of the so-called canon, right? But they say the 60 books, 66 books, is really 80 books with the Apocrypha, right? These type of things they didn't want us to understand. You know, these type of stories about our forefathers destroying them. They didn't want us to read these things. Just imagine if Nat Turner actually read, you know, the Maccabees during that time while he was in the plantation. That would have been a lot. It would have been a lot more death, man. Everybody probably would have revolted. It probably would have been no coons. But you know, there's always somebody that got to sell out. There's always somebody got to sell out. But you know, these are the kings and the renowned men known for their power, not just for their name. Right? They actually did things. They actually destroyed nations. You know, destroyed kings. All right. Go ahead, read verse 4 back in Sirach.
We got leaders of people by their counsels and by their knowledge of learning meet for the people, wise, eloquent in their instructions.
Right. Eloquent in their instructions, wise and eloquent in their instructions. Read.
Such as found out musical tunes and recited verses in writing.
Right. So musical tunes. Right. And we got the Psalms. Right. Psalm of David. Right. All those scriptures. Okay. Those are all songs, man. Reciting verses. Okay. Right. Read verse 6.
Rich men flourish or furnish with ability, living peace be in their habitations.
Right. Living peaceably in their habitations. Right. Because they had established order and counsel. Right. They had captains in order, judges in order, right? During the time of Solomon. You know what I mean? What was that? The Queen of Sheba, she thought one of the guards was actually Solomon when she came. You know, she thought one of the guards was actually him. But no, that's how well taken care of and how well established and in order, you know, Solomon had his kingdom, man. You know, had his rule. Right? Go ahead, read verse 11, verse 7.
All these were honored in their generations and were glory of their times.
Right, read.
there be of them that have left a name behind them.
Right? They have
That their
left a
praise.
name behind them, Salakia. Right? Now grab me Salakia. It's a verse in Proverbs. I should have wrote this down. Salakia. It's in Proverbs 22:1. Grab me that real quick, guys. Proverbs 22 and verse 1. Over the show. And if y'all could share the stream, y'all, you know what I mean? So we get more people up in here and edify the body, man. Going to the day assignment that we currently keeping.
I got that right here for you.
My bad, Salakia. All praises. Shalom, Matthias. Brother Matthias here. Shalom, beloved.
My screen. I got the blue letter up.
Oh, you got the blue letter? Come on, 1 second. All right, go ahead. You should be able to do it.
All right, can you see?
Nah, not yet.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, King.
How
How you feeling today, Ot?
I'm good, King. You good? Yourself?
It's good to see you, bro.
Good to see you as well.
Good to see you, Ot. Yeah, I can't see your screen, King. You trying to pull up Proverbs in the blue letter?
Yeah, I got that up here right now. It says I'm streaming. You might have to like allow it.
All right, let me see. You see the whole backstage, right? Or no? You see where it says present?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, press present, and then at the bottom, share screen, and then you're gonna have to press share screen again. It's gonna blue tab come up, and then you got to click the exact tab you got open to share.
Yeah, I got that right here. It says it says it has my screen share up.
Okay.
I think you have to like allow it.
I gotta allow. I don't say I gotta allow you to do anything. Actually, I don't see nothing. But yeah, So how we say this? Ashar Kag Shal Shamawan Makwabaf, right?
Come.
That's a mouthful. I ain't gonna lie.
That's happy day of Simon Maccabees.
Happy day of Simon Maccabees.
God.
Yeah, and I was just covering going to the spirit that was on our brothers, man. That revolting spirit. Fighting for the sanctuary, fighting for our laws, and fighting for the Most High, man, to maintain and fighting for a cause, man. You're dying for a cause. You're not just dying for nothing and dying in vain and vain glory. But go ahead, you can just read it. It's cool.
That's lucky. Before you get to reading, when you read the book of the Maccabees, when you're feeling down in the spirit, that's one of those books that just really brings that rebellious spirit back to you.
Right.
And it gives you that fire to want to keep pushing through Babylon.
It does, man. Especially when you let me share this real quick. Especially when you down, man. You start to feel like, Jake, you seeing all the stuff going on around the world. Jake just killing each other. Or just the situation with the Rodney Hinton situation. That's why I got him on the thumbnail. You know what I mean? That'll spark the greatest fire in the man. And you see what happened. The fire that sparked in that man. You know what I mean? Like that, you can't just do that to somebody's son, man, and not pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Something gonna transpire, and that's really the spirit a lot of us need to be in, to get ourselves together and to love each other more, so we don't end up in that situation to where, Esau has full rule over and control over our life and what we do now, because we acting out of emotion.
Right.
You know what I mean? We really gotta get ourselves together as a people, man. We really gotta get. But go ahead and read that. I got it on the screen.
A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold.
And when you read the scripture, just say the book and chapter and verse.
Okay.
So it says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, right? And that's what we read in Sirach 44. We leave off at verse where we leave off in Sirach. I think verse 9.
Verse 6, I believe.
Verse 6. Now we read that. Yeah, I think we have go ahead and read verse 8. Yeah, we have verse 8. So Sirach 44 and verse 8.
All right, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 44, verse 8. There be of them that have left a name behind them.
Right, they left a name behind them, right, Salaki?
That their praises might be reported.
Right? So it says that their praises might be reported. And this is the report that we reading, right? Thawadah King. Right? This is a praise that was reported and taken down throughout history for us to commemorate the day of Simon, right? Read verse 9.
And some there be which have no memorial, who are perished, as though they have never been, and are become as though they have never been born, and their children after them.
Right, and those are those vain people, right? A lot of vain Israelites been born. You know what I'm saying? Trying to go up against the enemy without the backing of the Most High. We got a lot of vain heathens that's been born, like they never been born. You know what I mean? Our life is like a dust in the wind. You know, a smoke in the wind, man. You know, we don't live that long. But like it says in Proverbs, a good name, right? A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, right? Now, when we read the Maccabees, right? Now let's go. Let me exit this real quick. Let's go to. Hold up. What I do with my notes? All right, let's go to First Maccabees, chapter 1. All right, First Maccabees. Hold up. Oh, this ain't the 16. What the Apocrypha? So like it. Hold on, let me stop sharing this real quick. So like y'all. Yeah, grab First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41.
I got it.
Go ahead, bring that out, Ken.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Right, that all should be one people, right? Now, this is the declaration of the heathen, right, during the Hellenistic period. Okay, they want all the people to be one, and that's like our people today, man. We adopted that ideology, you know, loving the heathen. Why can't the white man be saved, or why can't the Moabites come in? You know what I mean? That's all we care about. You know,
That's
all.
That's what America pushes, right? That great melting pot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's equal, but the Most High don't say that everybody's equal. Right? Good. I get it.
You know, so it ain't nothing new under the sun. It's the same things going on today, and this is the same people, man, throughout antiquity, right? The same people, which are Esau, Edom, you know, and they took a wise counsel to change all the names of the nations and themselves, changing the Caucasian and then white, and then Russian, and then Ukrainian and Italian, but no,
Anglo-Saxon,
right? Took our name, Jewish, took all themselves Jews and all other stuff, right? And they're really Edomites. They're really Esau, Edom. That's where they come from. Okay, Amalek, all of them. Them bulls. You know what I mean? But look, let's go to verse 42.
God, this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right. So that's what they wanted. Everybody should leave their laws. They didn't want the Jews or the ethnic Jews keeping their command, keeping God's laws, keeping the Sabbath or keeping the sacrifice, okay, and keeping the high holy days, keeping the new moons. They didn't want our people to do those things during the time of Antiochus, right? And Alexander and them. All right, go every verse 43.
God, verse 43. Many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Right, just like they're doing today, man. You know, our people love relaxation. Our people love an easy time. They don't want nothing. They don't want no type of stress or hardship or to stand for nothing, man. They're gonna take the easiest route possible so they can, you know, live in peace. You know what I mean? I stand up for God for anything. Right? Go ahead.
They want a little rest, a little food into the hands.
Right. And like it says in Micah 2:10.
Right.
This ain't our rest, man. You know what I mean? This just because Esau faked the funk like he loved you and he cared about your people, you can just look at today. He has never and never will care about so-called Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. There's a page that I follow on Instagram called missing.murder.natives. And its posts go up every single day. Now, this is one of the tribes that we really don't pay too much attention to. It's like the natives, like they just gone. Like nobody talks about Native Americans. And it's crazy because in the movie, did you see the movie out? You see Sinners?
I didn't see it yet, man.
Oh, come on. Hey,
this week
is heavy.
This week, Lord willing.
Come on, oh man, I can't even say my thoughts. It's cool. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Go for it, King.
Yet again. But anyway, that page, it's so many missing Israelites, you know, every single day. Young women, even of our own tribe, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? Ephraim, all the tribes, Issachar, they all going missing, man. You know, they have never cared. All this, the sex trafficking ring is innumerable. Multi-billion-dollar industry. You know, and a lot of people's getting exposed, and they still have yet to release that Epstein list.
Right.
Right. These same people. These the same people.
So like, I believe they released the list, but he has yet to be put up on charges for it the way he should be.
Right, exactly. These the same people, man. These the same exact people. But yeah, let's get back to Maccabees real quick.
God, it's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 44. Yeah. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Right, that we should follow the laws of the land, which our people willingly went to go do. Right, because let me get let me get Sirach. Let me see. Let me get Sirach 20 and 29. Baba Kashaw. Sirach chapter 20
verse 20.
Come.
That's right here. I got that up right here.
Come, bring it up.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20, verse 29. Presents and gifts blind to the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove.
Can I read that one more time, a little louder? Huh?
Presents and gifts blind of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove.
Right, so it says, presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. So when Antiochus, you know, sent out that letter to Jerusalem, and a lot of our people wanted to amalgamate with these people and can, what they call it today, integrate, right? It's another word, pretty much the same thing. They wanted to integrate with these people, because they gave them certain things. You get certain luxuries with Esau. You get your air conditioning, you get your fan, the Esau standard of luxury. And our people fall in love with that. They want to become and follow after these people, not knowing that we had a whole kingdom, man, full of gold that Solomon built, man. You know what I mean? We had a whole damn sanctuary. We supposed to rule the whole entire earth, not just a house that we really don't own, because we got to pay taxes on it until we die, or property taxes, or the land tax, right? Because you really don't own anything in this land. Everything is taxed 10 times over. If you really think about it, your check is taxed. When you buy something, you're taxed. You sell something, you're taxed, right? Everything is taxed, man, and it's going to the so-called white man. It's going to Esau's kingdom.
So I got a precept to bring out, but that's also on top of your taxes,
right?
Which is crazy. Everything is taxed. So the tax, right? It's crazy.
Right? It's like you work overtime, but you hardly see it on your check.
Right.
They tax that even more. It's crazy, man. We in hell, but this ain't our rest. Kind of go ahead, bring it up.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16, verse 19. Thou shalt not rest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's in our law. That's something we should keep,
right,
within each other and with anything for that matter. Regardless if a heathen offer us $1 million or $1 billion to, not worship our God and not do anything for the Most High, or turn against our own family, our own brother. You understand? It shouldn't be no carnal, materialistic thing that should get you to turn your back on the Most High, ever. And what we're about to get into today, you're gonna see why that's the most foolish thing you can ever do, is turn your back on God for material things that Esau can give you in this time now, which ain't worth nothing. It ain't worth your life. It ain't worth your salvation, and it ain't worth the kingdom, man. Right? So let's go back to Sirach 1, chapter 1, and Salakia, my bad. First Maccabees, chapter 1 and 45. Where was that?
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 45. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
Go ahead.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 47, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Right, and these are the things that they wanted us to do. Right, Israelites went and did it. Willingly went and did it. Right? They got bacon in every aspect of life. Breakfast, they got bacon on breakfast now. BLT, now they selling bacon at the Baconator, the Wendy's Baconator, everything. You literally gotta tell them no bacon for stuff, or they just throw bacon on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yo, listen, I went to Burger King a while ago. It's been a minute. You know what I mean? So don't rebuke me, but I went to Burger King, man. I used to be a sucker for a Whopper. I love me a double Whopper, yo. And I went there. I just got it because they don't say it come with bacon anyway. So I was like, listen, let me get number 1, a large double Whopper with cheese. And they're like, oh, is that it? I'm like, yeah. So I get up to the window, pay for it. I get my burger, I bite into it. And I'm like, yo, what is this tough? It's some damn bacon. Man, I almost threw I was gonna throw the burger out the window. You know what I mean? I just threw it in the trash. I'm like, yo, and I bit into some damn bacon. And this was like a year or 2 back. I was so mad, man. But they'll literally just put bacon on anything just because. You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, man. It's these type of things we gotta rebuke, man. Right. So, but this same spirit is in it today. They putting a lot of these chemicals and stuff that'll defile our temple in our foods, on our everyday foods, like even just the bottled water. You know what I'm saying? Your bread, your milk, all types of things. They just lacing it with tons of stuff. And I seen this post today. It was an Edomite talking about how sugar, like everything turns into sugar. Like you eat a piece of bread, it turns into sugar, and that glucose will take longer to break down than if you took a spoon of sugar to the mouth. You eating that piece of bread is worse than you will be worse than you actually taking a spoon of sugar and just eating it off the spoon.
It's a lucky. It's funny, right? Because even when it comes down to the food, almost everything white is bad for you.
Yeah.
White bread, cane sugar, right?
Yeah.
White cane sugar, right? Oh, anything. Your cakes, your pies, all of that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Let me see. I'm trying to bring up this. It's a lot again. I'm trying to bring up the. No, it's not with the Apocrypha. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Just want to bring it up on the screen. But yeah, man, we gonna get into it real quick. All right, just a couple more scriptures, and we're gonna dive into the day of Simon. I don't want to make this too long. All right, so chapter 1. Where we at? Verse 48, right?
Come. It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Right? With all manner of uncleanness and profanation, man. And that's what they wanted us to do. And when you go to First Maccabees chapter 6, right? Get that real quick. 6 and 6. Right? They wanted to leave our kids uncircumcised. Right? Second Maccabees, my bad. Right? Second Maccabees 6 and 6. Right? They wanted to leave our kids uncircumcised, which is a law we have to keep. Right? To serve our God. Okay? They wanted us to get rid of all these things. And these are the things we got to stand up against. Right? And when you read Second Maccabees 7 about the sister and her sons, that's a heart-wrenching story, but you see how steadfast you got to stand for the Most High, man. Even a sister did. And her young sons stood that stiffly for the Most High. Even with the threat of death. You know what I mean? So go ahead and read that out.
It's the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Right? Same thing. And they try so hard to get us to get away from our God, man. And to curse our God and to denounce that that's our God, that Yahweh is our God and we serve him, man. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go into procession to Bacchus carrying ivy.
Right. So this pretty much goes into how they made us do vain stuff and vile things, man, while they celebrated their feast, right? So let's go back to Sirach 44, Makai.
Sure.
And grab that real quick. Let's finish that out.
You want 44?
Sirach 44, and we left off at verse
11.
Verse 10. Actually, read verse 9 again. Read verse 9. We're gonna go just read straight through the 10.
All right. This book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 44, verse 9. And some there be which have no memorial, who are perished as though they had never been, and are become as though they had never been born, and their children after them.
Read.
But these were merciful men whose righteousness had not been forgotten.
Right? Merciful men whose righteousness have not been forgotten. Right? And this is Simon, right? Simon Maccabees, his forefathers, his brothers, the Maccabees. Okay. This goes into the Hasmonean dynasty. And we gonna touch on that too. Simon was pretty much the start of the Hasmonean dynasty. Right? Now watch this. Let me bring this back up real quick. Stop that. All right. So Simon, they call Simon Thassi, right? Mattathias. Okay, it says he was the son of Mattathias and thus a member of the Hasmonean family. Okay. Now go ahead and read this, King. The history. On the screen, if you could.
All right. Simon took a prominent part in the Jewish revolt against the Seleucid Empire, led by his brothers Judas Maccabees and Jonathan Aphus.
Right, and we're gonna read about that. Right, we're gonna read about Judas Maccabees. We read some about Judas Maccabees, and we're gonna read about Jonathan. Right, we're gonna get into all that in just a second. Right, go ahead, keep reading.
The successes of the Jews rendered it expedient for the Seleucid leaders in Syria to show them special favor. Therefore, Antioch chose the fifth appointed Simon strategies or military commanders of the coastal region stretching from the ladder of Tyre to Egypt. As strategies, Simon gained control of the cities of Bethzer and Jaffa, garrisoning them with Jewish troops, and built the fortress of Ada.
Adida, right? So that's mentioned in the Maccabees too. So we're gonna go into that, and that's like Adida, right? The three stripes, right? Now go ahead and read this right here. Oh, Salaki, my bad. Right after the capture.
You got this. All right. After the capture of Jonathan by the Seleucid general Dio, like these names, Theotis.
It's all good.
Yeah,
you get me too, Ak. Don't worry about it.
Simon was elected leader.
Trifon. That's pretty much who's going to begin, right?
Simon was elected leader by the people assembled at Jerusalem. He at once completed the fortification of the capital and made Joppa secure.
Right. So, a little bit of history. So if you start reading that chapter 10 in First Maccabees, you'll see how, Esau pretty much destroyed himself within, his own kingdom by his greed and what he wanted. Right. And then this leads up to Simon and Tryphon wanting to destroy Simon, in Jerusalem for that matter. All right. So let's go. All right. So I don't want to spoil it. All right. So pretty much I'm gonna just read this, right? So it says he became the first prince of the Hebrew Hasmonean dynasty. He reigned from 142 to 135 BC. All right. So he was the first prince of the Hasmonean dynasty. This is when it started off with Simon. All right. So now let's get into the Maccabees. Go ahead. First Maccabees, chapter 13. Mattathias, if you could read this.
Okay. It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 13, and verse 1.
It's Salaki. My bad, Salaki. It's something else I wanted to touch on right before this. My bad.
Go ahead,
Get me out.
No, you good.
So, right. The thing about this brother that killed this cop, right? That's why I wanted to link this up with this story. I got the Maccabees names in my head so much right now. Rodney Hinton. My bad. Getting the brother name already, man. This is crazy because it's almost like it's calming down right now. Like nobody really cares anymore. It's almost like now everybody focusing on the damn boat hitting the damn bridge.
Nah,
that's like the biggest story right now.
They focusing on the Diddy case.
Crazy.
They focusing on the Diddy case.
Right, the Diddy case. Yeah. Yep. It's crazy because you see, as soon as it happened and it started to pop off, a lot of our people started to get into it. Like, yeah, that should have happened. That's what should have happened, or that's what he should have did. You know what I mean? Who can lose? What father wouldn't be in a rage seeing his son get murdered on camera,
right?
Innocently, you know what I mean? In the sense where he didn't deserve to get his back blown out. You know what I'm saying? He didn't deserve to get bullets shot into his spine. You know what I mean? Just why you watching your son die on camera, man. You know? And the same thing with the other brother I got on the thumbnail. But this type of spirit that we about to read about with Simon, this revolting spirit, even in all the Maccabees, you started chapter 1 in the Maccabees. When Mattathias slew the damn priest, the heathen priest, and he slew the Israelite or the Jew that wanted to go sacrifice and bow to the damn heathen. Slew them all. You know what I mean? I'd have just enraged that he would even do that. You know? But yeah, let's start in chapter 13, verse 1.
It's the book First Maccabees, chapter 13 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea and destroy it, and saw that the people was in great trembling and fear, he went up to Jerusalem, and he gathered the people together, and gave them exhortation, saying, Ye yourselves know what great things I and my brethren and my father's house have done for the laws and the sanctuary, the battles also, and troubles which we have seen.
Right.
By reason of all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone.
Right, and he was left alone. So we got Mattathias, right? When you read early in the chapters, the Maccabees, right? And soon we're gonna read about, his Jonathan, his brother, right? So let's get Salakia. Go ahead, you can keep reading on that. You can read that. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Now therefore be it far from me that I should spare mine own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. Doubtless I will avenge my nation and the sanctuary, and our wives and our children, and all the heathen that are gathered to destroy us of very malice.
But you see how he said, doubtless I will avenge my nation? Right? Now, where did he even get that sentence and reasoning from? Right? Let's see where he even got that sentence and reasoning from, right? Let's get Jeremiah, right? The scripture I'm thinking about that. Right, I think it's in Jeremiah is what I want. No, Salakia. I think it's in Luke. It's in the book of Luke. Right, when he says he shall avenge his people, avenge my people. It might be in John. Salakia, I had a long day. I'm trying to go over this before I even started.
That's in Luke chapter 18.
Luke 18. Okay,
verse 7.
Go ahead, bring it out if you got it up.
Let me see.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 7.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cried day and night unto him, though he bear long with them?
Right. Now, this is the same type of spirit that Simon had. Right? He said, doubtless I will avenge my nation. You see that? This is why we need to read these type of stories and read about our forefathers, because we wouldn't be so damn docile when stuff like this happens. We wouldn't let it just brush over so easily. Oh, just another shooting, another killing of one of our brothers. You know what I mean? What can we do? You know what I mean? What can we do? There's plenty of things we can do, man. There's plenty of things we can do. First, we can start within our home. We can start with the family. We can start building our families back up, right? Come under one common law, which is the scriptures, the Torah. All right, because that's the only thing that's going to get us out of this situation. Is keeping the laws of God. The very only thing. We tried everything else, right? You try, the Black Panther movement, that didn't work, right? In Philly, we had the move bombing. They bombed the move movement. I think that anniversary just passed not too long ago.
This week,
right?
That's this week.
We tried that. We tried Martin Luther King. That didn't work, right? We tried Malcolm X. Okay. What's the right, Al Sharpton. We tried that. Like they don't do anything for us, man. Nothing that they do or nothing that they has ever said has done anything for so-called Black people as a whole to get us out of this system of oppression and bring us closer to our identity and who our God is. Right? Let's go back to the Maccabees.
So before that, let me bring out verse 8.
Come.
Right, verse 8. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily.
Uh-huh.
Nevertheless, the Son of Man cometh. Shall he find faith on earth?
Right, so he's going to avenge them speedily. But the latter boy said, nevertheless, when the Son cometh, shall he find faith on earth, man. And that's one thing, like Elder was talking about, like she was talking about. We got to keep that faith. We got to increase our faith. Right? We gotta have faith in these last days because it's gonna be that bad. Esau gonna come after us in a way that he has never before. That he has before, but this is his end. So he's gonna bring out all the big dogs. He's gonna bring out all the weapons, all the things we never thought it could even exist. He's gonna bring out all the things, just to destroy us. And you can read about that in 2nd Esdras, 15 and 16. I think a little bit in chapter 14 too.
Yeah, that's a lot. He's bringing them out now. He's rolling them out slowly.
Right, changing them laws and what Trump what Trump doing? Right.
He's opening up Guantanamo Bay. He's trying to reopen Alcatraz for you Negroes.
Right. He deporting Americans, man.
Yeah.
People that were actually born here.
Right. We already got a few robot dogs.
Right.
A lot of people don't even know they out there, but they out there. New York got them.
Right. They using the drones and everything right now.
Right. So I mean, they go. It's no holds barred with Esau right now. He knows it's the end. He knows it's the final chapter.
Right.
And he knows. Listen, I got a short time. Let me kill as many of these Negroes as I can while I got the time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It was a slight echo though. I don't know who it was. Hopefully it wasn't me. Let me turn my volume down. But yeah, man. It's gonna be a sad time. You know what I mean? This upcoming near future, man. We in the end times. We deep in this thing. It's too late to be falling out and losing faith and having that cowardice spirit, man. This is why we need to commemorate and remember these things, like I said in Sirach. Let us now remember great men, man. Praise great men that fought for our laws and fought for our people. And Mattathias, he gave his whole family up. Right? His brothers, all his descendants, man. Simon, everybody, Jonathan. They gave their lives for the nation of Israel, for the Most High. Right? So I think I froze. You there, Mattathias, you good?
Yeah.
It was like you froze on my screen.
Oh, wow. I'm good.
All right, let's go back to Maccabees. Hey, and Makai, if you got a precept or anything, bring it out if you could. You know what I mean? If you got anything.
All right. It's the book of First Maccabees. Chapter 13, and I'll start at verse 6 again.
Go ahead.
Doubtless I will avenge my nation and the sanctuary, and our wives and our children. For all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice. Now, as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived. And they answered with a loud voice, saying, Thou shalt be our leader in the stead of Judas and Jonathan thy brother.
Right. So he said, he shall be our leader. Right? Simon shall be the leader. Right? Because our people know how to choose a leader, man. Our people know who the Spirit is working with. You know what I mean? You can observe certain brothers and see, okay, the Most High is with this brother. You know what I mean? All throughout history. Nobody bucked up against David or Saul or Solomon. You know what I mean? They chose him to be their leader. Right?
It's like it. David didn't even want to buck up against Saul.
Right, exactly. And David was a powerful man.
Right.
Killed more people than Saul.
He said, Dare I touch the king's anointed?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's get so like, let me see. This is what I want. Psalm 40. Let's see. Come on, let's keep going.
God. Verse 9. Fight thou our battles, and whatsoever thou commandest us, that will we do.
Right, read.
Verse 10. So then he gathered together all men of war, and made haste to finish the walls of Jerusalem. He fortified it round about. Also he sent Jonathan, the son of Absalom, and with him a great power to Joppa, who casting out them that were therein remained there in it.
Right, read.
So Tryphon removed from Ptolemais with a great power to invade the land of Judea, and Jonathan was with him in war.
Go ahead.
But Simon pitched his tents in Adida, over against the plain. Now when Tryphon knew that Simon was risen up instead of his brother Jonathan, and meant to join battle with him, he sent messengers unto him, saying, Whereas we have Jonathan thy brother in hold, it is for money that he is owing unto the king's treasure, concerning the business that was committed unto him. Wherefore now send 100 talents of silver, and 2 of his sons for hostages, that when he is at liberty, that he may not revolt from us, and we will let him go.
But you see how Esau worked though?
Right.
It's how dirty Esau is, man. You want to hold it. He said, send how many talents of silver? 100 talents of silver and 2 of his sons for hostages, just so he will not revolt. You see that? That's Esau's goal, is to keep us docile so we don't revolt. Like, that's the biggest threat to the so-called white man today, is the unity of black and brown people, so-called black and brown people, which are the Israelites. That's the biggest threat. Us revolting against his kingdom and actually separating ourselves. Like the scriptures say in Revelation 18, what does it say? You know, right. Depart from her, my people. Right?
People, right?
Right. And Matthew, be ye separate. Right? Separate from this nation. Right? Don't bow the knee. Don't give up. Don't just give in. You know, like the saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them. That's how people motto right now at this time. You know what I mean? They just want to put the horse blinders on to everything that they've ever done.
They said, like, that was Martin Luther King's motto.
Right.
That's what got us in the situation we're in.
Exactly. That little white boys and little black girls and, you know, holding hands and going to the same school, that's all that was the worst thing that could ever happen to so-called black people, man.
Right.
Was us joining and, you know, integrating with these damn heathens. And throughout history, it has never benefited us ever throughout history.
It's lucky. You know what it did? It made us complacent and lazy, just like the so-called white man.
Yeah. That's exactly what it did. And that's what you see today. Bunch of lazy demons running around, robbing and killing and shooting people.
Right.
You know, monsters of menstruous women, like it says in Second Esdras.
Read my mind out.
Yeah, man. You know, women, children, women are the what is it? Children of the oppressors, and women rule over them.
It's Isaiah.
Isaiah, right? What's that, Isaiah 2?
I believe so.
You know, but we get all that stuff from the so-called white man, and the so-called white man funds that lifestyle. He supports it. How? Through welfare, through the injustice, right? What's it called? The juvenile detention centers, right? Because they don't do nothing. Like these young boys, they steal cars, they do all. They know they're gonna get right back out. That's why they have no fear of getting caught doing it. As soon as they go there, they just go through the system. They just gonna release them the same night because it's already overpopulated. It's already full. Same thing with the prisons, right? But that's how Esau. This is how Esau does, man. He want to get you docile and have something over your head as a ransom so that you don't revolt. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, continue on that up.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 13 and verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Hereupon Simon, albeit he perceived that they spake deceitfully unto him, yet sent he the money and the children, lest peradventure he should procure to himself great hatred of the people.
Right, and that was a hard decision he had to make. Because Israel going, dang, why ain't you send that? Dang, that's nothing. We could have just sent that and his sons, and now Simon or Jonathan's dead. But that's a hard decision he had to make, man. He had to deal with wisdom because it was like if he didn't send it, they was going to kill Jonathan, or if he did, it's like he damned if you do, damned if you don't. So he went and sent it. Right, go ahead.
And Salaki, the thing about it was whether he sent it or not, they was going to do it anyway.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get into it.
Right. Verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Who might have said, because I sent him not the money and the children, therefore is Jonathan dead.
Right.
So he sent them the children and the 100 talents. Howbeit Tryphon dissembled, neither would he let Jonathan go.
Mm-hmm.
And after this came Tryphon to invade the land and destroy it, going round about by the way that leadeth unto Adora. But Simon and his host marched against it in every place wheresoever he went.
Right.
Now they that were in the tower sent messengers unto Tryphon, to the end that he should hasten his coming unto them by the wilderness and send them victuals.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore Tryphon made ready all his horsemen to come that night. But there fell a very great snow, by reason whereof he came not. So he departed and came into the country of Galaad.
Right, so a great snow fell down, right? And who had that happen?
The Most High had that happen.
So a great snow fell down, so he couldn't come. Right, now go ahead, keep reading.
That's Proverbs 20:24. Man's goings of the Lord, how then can a man understand his own way? Exactly. Right, so the great snowfall completely foiled Tryphon's plans.
Right.
Right, verse 23. And he came near to Boscama. He slew Jonathan, who was buried there.
Mm-hmm.
Afterward, Tryphon returned and went into his own land. Then sent Simon and took the bones of Jonathan his brother and buried them in Modan, the city of his fathers.
Right, and you see how he said they was going to do it anyway. Right, but you see how vile and evil and dirty Esau plays, man. He don't care. They have never cared. The same spirit that was on Tryphon, the same spirit that's in these Edomites today, man. They're going to do whatever it takes to keep us from revolting, to keep us asleep, to try any type of intimidation tactics to get us to bow the knee.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
And so that was the same spirit that was on Caesar, right? And everybody that had the Israelites in captivity.
Right.
Pharaoh, everybody.
Exactly. Right? Same spirit when Yahushua was born.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was coming to kill all the male children.
Yeah, that damn Herod Agrippa.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
The same people. These Macedonians, the same people, man. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And all Israel made great lamentation for him and bewailed many days.
Mm-hmm.
Simon also built a monument of the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site with hewn stone behind and before.
Really?
Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren.
Right now, jump down to verse 31.
Come, verse 31. Now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus and slew him.
Mm.
And he reigned in his stead. Salakia. This is what's happening right now with Ukraine and Russia, because those are brothers.
Yeah.
They're slaying each other the same way that Tryphon slew Antiochus. Right?
Right. God.
Verse 32. And he reigned in his stead and crowned himself king of Asia and brought a great calamity upon the land.
Mm-hmm.
Then Simon built up the strongholds in Judea and fenced them about with towers and great walls and gates and bars and laid up victuals therein.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, Simon chose men and sent to King Demetrius to the end that he should give the land an immunity, because all that Tryphon did was to spoil.
Right. That's all he did was to spoil, man. Right. And that's what the devil comes to do. Right. Let me get John 10 and 10. Makai Babakashaw.
That also goes into Obadiah. Would he not leave some grapes?
Right. Exactly. He takes every little thing he can take.
Right.
He vacuuming up everything. Don't leave nothing. Don't leave nothing nothing there left for them. Nothing for the homeless, nothing for anybody. They just destroy and take and wipe out everything.
Right.
I got this one up here for you.
Okay, come on. What you got?
This is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy.
Right.
I am come that they go ahead.
Go ahead. You can finish it out.
I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly.
Right. But that first part says the thief cometh not but to kill, to steal and destroy. And you see that clearly right here with Tryphon. Right. He even destroyed his own brother on his own brothers.
Right.
Deceitfully with Antiochus. Crazy, man. But that's the spirit of Esau. To steal, kill, and destroy. The thief cometh not but to do that. And he's a damn thief. That's all he's ever been since his inception.
That goes all the way back to Genesis, right? I mean, the man sold his birthright and then tried to steal it back. Right.
Exactly.
And then he's been wroth with the children of Israel ever since and killing us for the same damn reason, not knowing that that's just what's in their spirit.
Exactly. That's that old hatred talked about in Ezekiel.
That perpetual hatred.
35. Mm-hmm. You said you wanted to grab that?
Grab it real quick.
Oh. No. It's cool. It's cool. We'll grab it later.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then.
God. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5.
God, bring it
up. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Right, and that's what's going to happen. Esau don't hate the shedding of blood; is nothing to him. Right? I think they just found somebody prepping for a crazy mass shooting. If I'm not mistaken, it was a story I was looking at. I can't remember where I saw it, but he had so many bullets, man. He had like 12,000 bullets, they said. I think like over 100 different guns waiting for something, and somebody ratted or somebody told on him. And that's the only way he got caught.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. And same thing with Chief brought out the other day about the bomb buying, the son stuff for a school shooting. It's crazy, man. But it's nothing new under the sun, and it's the same spirit in these people to this day, man.
Right.
Same spirit. So, like the Most High said, since they have not hated blood, blood is going to pursue them. Right? And if it be the Most High will, we be the ones that get to do that, man, and shed the blood of the people that shed the blood of our forefathers, man, for the very last time. And that kingdom is going to rule forever, like it says in the book of Daniel. Right? Is that it on that?
Con, that's it on that.
All right, Con, let's go back to Maccabees. Let's finish this up.
Con, I'll pick up from 34 again.
Go ahead.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 13, verse 34. Moreover, Simon chose men and sent to King Demetrius to the end he should give the land an immunity, because all that Tryphon did was to spoil. Unto whom King Demetrius answered and wrote after this manner. King Demetrius unto Simon the high priest, and friend of kings, as also unto the elders and nation of the Jews, sendeth greeting. The golden crown and the scarlet robe which he sent unto us we have received, and we are ready to make a steadfast peace with you. Yea, and to write unto our officers to confirm the immunities which we have granted. And whatsoever covenants we have made with you shall stand, and the strongholds which ye have builded shall be your own. As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it, and the crown tax also which ye owe us. If there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall no more be paid.
Right. You see that? But you see how the Most High is working though? Right? He having this happen, so eventually Tryphon is going to be destroyed out of this. You know, everything, all the pieces happening right now. Right? All the, like I said, all the victuals and the taxes, right? Read verse 39 one more time.
God. As for the oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it, and the crown tax also which ye owe us. If there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall no more be paid.
It shall no more be paid, man. Right? This is powerful. This is powerful. This is the fall of Esau, and this is what's going to happen. Right? This is exactly what's going to happen in these last days. You know, we're not going to pay no more tax no more. They're going to be trying to, get things in good sense with us. Right? Oh, y'all ain't got to do this no more. We'll do this and all that. But you see how the Most High is working through the Israelites right now. Right? Working through Demetrius. Okay? So let me see. Verse 39. Let's see, money be there. All right, go ahead. Keep going on that. Verse 40.
God, verse 40. And look who are meet among you to be in our court. Let them be enrolled, and let their peace be betwixt us. Thus the yoke of the heathen was taken away from Israel in the 170th year.
You see that? Now the yoke of the heathen was taken away from Israel. And we ain't got to worry about them no more. We ain't got to worry about taxing them, paying anything for them, paying the king nothing. And the Most High had the yoke lifted off of Israel. Lifted off of us, man. Right? Now let's we got to write instruments. All right, keep going on that. Let's finish this out.
Verse 42. Then the people of Israel began to write in their instruments and contracts in the first year of Simon the high priest, the governor and leader of the Jews. In those days, Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city and battered a certain tower and took it.
Right now, have you seen what's that movie called? Not Clash of the Titans.
Which
Have
one?
you ever seen Lord of the Rings, right? I think it was the second or third one. And they made this it was like a battering ram, and they was inside of it. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
I don't want to pull up that scene because we got copyright last time. I think it was from that Matrix. I don't want to pull it up.
Yeah.
But if you've seen the Lord of the Rings, right? When
Salak, you know what you can do?
Go ahead.
Just like Google a picture of a battering ram, because that's exactly what that engine of war is.
Right. Let me see.
Either that or a catapult, either or, because both of them are engines of war.
Let me see. It's called a Grand. Let me see this. Share my screen. See this thing here? Let me see. I think there's a scene here, something like that. Something like this, but they was inside of it.
It's like when you watch Troy.
Right.
You watch the movie Troy, like they would use battering rams in that time. I mean, they had the Trojan horse where they hid inside of it, but even still, when they came after they besieged,
right.
with the engines of war, and then they burned the city.
Yeah, exactly. Man, look at this one right here. This is crazy. Look at that. But yeah, man, it made an engine of war. All right, let's go back to Maccabees.
I read verse 43 again. In those days, Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city, and battered a certain tower and took it. And they that were in the engine leapt into the city, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city, insomuch as the people of the city rent their clothes and climbed upon the walls with their wives and children, and cried with a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace.
Yeah, now they crying now. But what we were saying, I don't want to say it. Start with a B. Now they being.
Right.
You know, now they want to cry. Oh Lord, please don't, no. But nah, man, y'all destroy it. Y'all trying to destroy us. You killed my brother Jonathan. You killed my fathers. You know, you killing your own people. Y'all gotta go, man. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 46. And they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness, but according to thy mercy.
Now, how we gonna do that? How that work? Right? Make that make sense for me.
Hey man, listen.
Now you want mercy from us after destroying our people like that?
So like, didn't the Lord say he'll have mercy on whom he'll have mercy, and compassion on whom he'll have compassion?
Right.
Mainly with our people, but the heathen ain't no mercy or compassion for them.
Right. Exactly.
You see what just happened in Kentucky?
Right.
All those tornadoes that destroyed all that.
Mm-hmm.
Most High ain't got no feelings for these nations. He don't give a damn about them.
Right. Like the scriptures say, merciless murderers of children.
Right.
Right. But they want mercy from us. Even today, they want mercy from us. You know what I mean? And it's like they know how to protect their own, though. It's like the heathen that called our young brother a nigger in the park, a little kid. What was it? 5-7-year-old kid? 5-year-old kid called him a nigger. But they support their own to protect her from us. But this is why we need to read these type of things, man. This type of revolting spirit and standing up and separating from these people. It's only a few that's gonna get it, man. It's not the majority of Israel ain't gonna get this.
Right.
The majority of Jake ain't gonna understand this concept of loving your people over loving the heathen. It's a concept that's so foreign to our people that they will self-destruct before they could ever choose their brother over a so-called white man. And the sole root of that is based out of Christianity, from slavery and Jim Crow, and loving your brother as you love yourself. But they changed your brother into everybody. They changed your brother to every other nation. And it's how you know our people don't read the Bible. They don't observe the scriptures. And they don't know stories like this even exist about their forefathers and their people that we need to observe and read so we can have this wisdom, man. This is a gift from the Most High that it was preserved so we can read and commemorate it every single year so we don't get that docile spirit. We don't get that over forgiving. I mean, our people are so damn forgiving, man. Our people are way too forgiving.
To a fault.
Yeah, to their own detriment. Our people are way too forgiving, man. And this is why stories like this, and they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness. So don't do what you did to us. Don't do what we did to you. But according to thy mercy. We know y'all are merciful and forgiving people. And that's how you know they know we are. It's crazy.
Right.
Said, but according to thy mercy.
Now the crazy part for me, I don't know if I'd have done what Simon did.
Me either. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know. I don't know that it's in me to do that.
Hey, it would have been a complete wipeout. See, this why we wasn't born. That's why Most High didn't have us back there then. And that's why we who we are now, because we would have tore some shit up. We would have tore it up, man. I can't be that forgiving of the heathen. You know what I mean? Sparing their ass. But let's keep reading though.
Verse 47. So Simon was appeased towards them, and fought no more against them, but put them out of the city, and cleansed the houses wherein the idols were, and so entered into it with songs and thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, he put all uncleanness out of it, and placed such men there as would keep the law, and made it stronger than it was before, and built therein a dwelling place for himself.
Come.
They also of the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight that they could neither come forth nor go into the country, nor buy nor sell. Wherefore they were in great distress for want of victuals, and a great number of them perished through famine.
Come. You see that? But they put all the wicked out of Israel, but he established the law again. He established that law, right? So let me see. Go ahead, read verse 50.
Verse 50. Then cried they to Simon, beseeching him to be at one with them, which thing he granted them. And when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollutions, and entered into the 23rd day of the second month, in the 170th and 1 year, with thanksgiving and branches of palm trees, with harps and cymbals, and with viols and hymns and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel.
Right, it was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel, man, and that's what we commemorate today, right? Brother Simon, he destroyed the heathen, put them out of the sanctuary, put them out of the temple, cleansed the temple, right? Put holy men in there, right? Took all the idols out of there, okay? And he ordained this day to commemorate him, man, and to commemorate the acts that he did via the Most High, by the backing of the Most High God, man. Right? Go ahead, finish that chapter out.
Verse 52. He ordained also that the day should be kept every year with gladness. Moreover, the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was, and there he dwelt himself with his company.
And this is why we here. This is why we commemorating this today. That's why we remembering this. What our brother Simon did, you know, destroying the heathen. Now he put them out of the sanctuary, right? But he avenged his people, and he cleansed the temple. Right. And that's what we need to be doing, physically and spiritually, right? Separating from the heathen and cleansing your temple spiritually too, man.
Right.
You understand? These are the things we need to observe and remember, right? And these two brothers I put in the thumbnail, Rodney Hinton and Christopher Dorner, they had that same type of spirit that, you know, they couldn't take no more. I'm not going to sit back and watch the heathen destroy my people anymore, let alone destroy me. You know, now they wasn't fighting to keep the laws of God or anything like that, but these two brothers stuck out to me a lot throughout history, you know, since I've known their names, you know, and the more recent Rodney Hinton, man, you know, and I could only imagine losing a son in that way. You know, I mean, only we got to think about that possibility as Israelites, as so-called black people. You know what I mean?
It's a lot here. You can add to that Carmelo Anthony.
Exactly. Sonia Macy. A lot. Yo, listen. Ahmaud Arbery. Okay, Eric Garner. Philando Castile. Like, this stuff should have been happening. Stuff like this should have been going on. Avenging your mothers and your sons and your fathers and uncles that's been taken away by the hands of the heathen, and their fear for us when all we doing is either trying to get away from them, you know, or protect ourselves. Because that's any other type of revolt or organization that was created in this land, in this captivity, was only for protection and defense, right? They try to say the Black Panther movement was a code or it was a you know, something to come against so-called white people, like a racist code or something. No, it was built upon protecting and doing for our own. The same thing with the MOVE movement, right? It was all about protecting and doing for our own, because All throughout history, all Esau ever do is destroy our people. Like we just read in John 10 and 10. The thief cometh not but to kill, steal, and destroy. And that's all he's ever done throughout history, man. So
Mike, I got a quick precept.
Go ahead, bring it out.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19 and verse 21. And thine eyes shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
Right? And these are the things we forget. Oh, but no, you got turn the other cheek. You must love thy brother as you love yourself. But who's your brother? You don't even know who's your brother in the scripture.
Right.
Every man ain't your brother, man. Right? What's the boy name that's still walking around freely that killed Trayvon Martin? What's that heathen name?
What's his name? Escapes me right now, but I'm pissed at that, man.
Yeah.
I'm mad he's still
walking around freely, okay, protected. You know, they have no fear of doing anything to us, and that's the thing. They scared of us, but they know they have a whole system backing them if they want to do something to us. Whenever they feel like it, whenever they feel fear for their life, you know, they know they're okay. They're gonna be okay.
Like that's his name, George Zimmerman.
Right, Zimmerman's still walking around freely, right? But yeah, we got the YNs, we got the, you know, and I don't even like saying that, man. I don't even want to say that. I'm mad that that's even a thing too. Because now we got white people saying that too. So basically, you're giving them permission to say nigga without giving them permission. They're saying it without saying it. Right. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. But this is why we commemorating this today, man. You know, the day of Simon. You know, our forefather Simon Maccabees and his family. Okay, and destroying, you know, Tryphon and cleansing the sanctuary, cleansing the temple, all right, and putting them out. And this is why we need to read these type of things, man, and understand that having that type of forgiving, loving spirit all the time ain't always the way to go. We need to separate from the heathen, separate, and, you know, gather with our people. Let me get Zephaniah 2:1 out. And I'm gonna get into a bonus story real quick. One of my most favorite stories in the scriptures of a revolt. Kind of a revolt, I'll say.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Right? Gather yourselves together, because we a nation not desired, man. You can see right now how much hatred they've had for us in the past, even to this day. It's just carrying on. They passing it down from day to day. It's racist kids in college right now, in high school, making racist jokes. Right? I be seeing on my feed sometimes it be, you know, black kids on the it's like this little skip platform where like you just talk to random people and they come across white kids and they be like, oh, as soon as they get on the camera, nigger, why you so black? I'm like, yo, they like 12, 13 years old. That's how you know that these people hate us, man. And they're gonna teach their kids as much as they possibly can.
So, did you see the video that Yaakov put up with the Amalekites spitting on the young brother?
Nah, I ain't see that.
Yeah, it's in the chat. You gotta check it out.
And what did he do?
He talked about his favorite animal was a nigga and spit in the boy's face.
Now, what he do after he spit in his face though?
The young boy, he was a little kid. He couldn't really do much. He walked off.
Oh, he was that young. Oh man. Oh man.
But that shows you the hatred that these people have towards us. But you know what? The Most High said he's going to have war with Amalek forever.
Exactly, man.
He's going to wipe him off the face of the earth.
Right. And this is why he should have destroyed Amalek when he had the chance, man.
Right.
Sparing Amalek, man. He should have destroyed that nigga, man.
Yo, man, that goes back to Haman, man.
Huh?
That even goes to Haman, like.
Right.
He comes from Amalek.
Right, man. Sparing the heathen. Now we got to deal with them forever.
That's why I said I don't know if I could do what Simon did, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, look. Man's goings of the Lord. It was for a reason, man.
God.
You know what I mean? Everything's for the work of the Most High, man. But it's one story, one of my favorite stories, right, in the scriptures. It's about Jehu, right? Let me get First Kings. Right. This is one of my favorite story, favorite revolting stories about Jehu, man.
First Kings.
Yeah, First Kings 10. And you can start at verse let me see. You start at verse 15. First Kings 10 and 15. No, Salak is Second Kings. My bad. Salak. Second. Forgive me, my bad.
Second Kings 10, 15.
Come.
It's the book of Second Kings, chapter 10 and verse 15. And when he was departed thence, he lighted on Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, coming to meet him, and he saluted him, and said to him, "Is thine heart right, as my heart is with thy heart?" And Jehonadab answered, "It is. If it be, give me thine hand." And he gave him his hand, and he took him up to him into the chariot.
Right.
And he said, "Come with." Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You good.
Verse 16. And he said, "Come with me and see my zeal for the Lord." So they made him ride in his chariot.
Right. So he said, "Come with me and see my zeal for the Lord," man. This is a powerful chapter in the Bible. If you haven't read First Kings and Second Kings, even in the Samuels, you gotta read a lot of these stories, man, about some of these brothers and the things that they've done to liberate their people or put evil out of Israel.
Yeah, it's a lot. Even with Samuel, right? Israel was like, when he stepped on the sea, "Yo, comest thou peaceably?"
Right, comest thou peaceably, right.
It was scared.
Come in peace, yeah. You gotta make sure.
Right.
Yo, you come in peace or what? Like, anything gonna be straight? Or we got, you know what I mean? Why you coming with all these people? You coming in peace?
Right.
You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Verse 17. And when he came to Samaria, he slew all the remained unto Ahab in Samaria, till he had destroyed him, according to the saying of the Lord, which he spake to Elijah.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And Jehu gathered all the people together and said unto them, "Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu shall serve him much." Verse 19. Now therefore call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all his servants, all his priests, let none be wanting, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal. Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worshippers of Baal.
You see that? Now he said he did it in subtlety. Now what does subtlety mean? Subtlety, right? What do we hear that word at before in subtlety?
You hear that throughout the scriptures, to be honest with you.
Hey, we hear that in Genesis, right? The serpent dealt what?
God.
The serpent dealt subtly with Eve, right?
Right.
Right. Let me grab that in the blue letter real quick. Oh, damn. Let me see. Hold on. It's a lot here. Hey, Makai, could you grab that in the blue letter real quick, Bubba Shaw?
Yeah, I got you.
Grab 2 Kings 10 and 19 in the blue letter. And look up that word subtlety.
All right. I got you. 2 Kings.
Second Kings 10 and 19 in the blue letter. Right, and then we're gonna look up Genesis. I
got that right here.
3.
Now therefore call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all his servants and all his priests. Let none be wanting, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal. Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety.
Right, now go in the blue letter and see what subtlety means.
All right. In good sense.
It means what? Read it.
In good sense. In a good sense.
Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's a lot here. 2 Kings.
To give good sense to the simple.
6 Kings 10. All right, I got it. It's a locky.
All right.
Right, so 2 Kings 10 and 19. Right. Let's see what subtle mean. He dealt subtly. Right, in subtlety. Right, means subtlety, it says insidiousness or craftiness. Right? He dealt in a crafty way, in the same way, right? In the same way that the serpent dealt with Eve. Right? It says in the lexicon, it says fraud or wiles. Right? And wiles just mean what? Pretty much the same thing, craftiness. Right? Because we gotta be beware of the wiles of the devil. Right? Now let me get Genesis 3 and 1. Let me see what that. Genesis 3 and 1. Can you see my screen?
A word synonymous with that is cunning.
Cunning,
that's
right.
the word that's synonymous with subtlety.
Con. Right. Now look. Genesis 3 and 1. Right? Let me just play it real quick.
Strong's H 6175. Arum.
Right.
Arum.
Esau ass, man.
Second entry. Arum.
It says subtile. It says shrewd, crafty. Right? Sly, sensible. Okay. So pretty much Jehu dealt with him subtly. So he acted like, oh, he really wanted to celebrate this and praise Baal, but he did it in craftiness. And we about to see in a sense of how he did it. Right? It says in a good sense, prudent or cautious, right? In the lexicon. All right. So let's go back to 2 Kings, Malachi.
God, that's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 10, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And Jehu said, proclaim a solemn assembly for Baal. And they proclaimed it. And Jehu sent through all Israel, and all the worshippers of Baal came, so that there was not a man left that came not.
Dang,
and
so you see that? So Salaga, he said he got everybody, all the worshippers of Baal, so there was not one left, right? So that it wasn't one that didn't come. So everybody showed up to this party, right? Go ahead.
And they came into the house of Baal, and the house of Baal was full from one end to another. And he said unto him that was over the vestry, bring forth vestments for all the worshippers of Baal. And he brought them forth vestments. And Jehu went, and Jehonadab, the son of Rekah, into the house of Baal, and said unto the worshippers of Baal, search and look, that there be with you none of the servants of the Lord, but the worshippers of Baal only.
That's crazy. So you see that? So he said, make sure there's nobody here that worship the God of Israel. So he told them, y'all make sure nobody else is here but everybody that worships Baal. Right? That's crazy. But it's funny though. We gonna see what he gonna do, right? Go ahead.
And when they, verse 24, and when they went in to offer sacrifices and burnt offerings, Jehu appointed 80 men without, and said, if any of the men whom I have brought into your hands escape, he that let him go, his life shall be for the life of him.
Right. So basically he said, if anybody that is in this party, I'm gonna choose y'all 4 to look out None of these niggas better escape. If y'all let anybody, the one person out of this party escape, I'm gonna kill you for exchanging his life. Whoever got out, right? That's heavy, man. He wasn't playing, bro. He wasn't playing about this. He gonna take these niggas out. Well, go ahead, read.
Verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, that Jehu said unto the guard, to the captains, Go in and slay them. Let none come forth. And they smote them with the edge of the sword. And the guard and the captains cast them out, and went to the city of the house of Baal.
You see that? So they slayed. It said, let none come forth, and they smote them with the edge of the sword, man. They smote everybody in the house. Everybody. Every single worshiper of Baal they killed.
That's more my speed right there, man. No consequences, no repercussions.
Hey, so you rebuking Simon on the day of Simon? That's crazy. Hey, that's crazy. Nah, I'm messing up. But yeah, I'm with Jehu on this one, man. This is my favorite. This is one of my favorite passages in the Bible. Someone showing a zeal for the Lord and to put evil out of Israel. Now, sometimes I daydream about having a fake alphabet party. You know what I mean? Just get everybody to set the shit on fire, man. You know, on some 9/11 type stuff. Set up some damn explosive devices.
Hey, man, all praise the brothers meditating terror on Simon Maccabee's day, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, we in the spirit, bro.
God. That's one of those stories. But another one of those stories is Samson killing the 10,000 in the temple.
Right. God.
I love. That's one of my favorite stories, man.
Right. God. Let's go ahead. Read down to verse 28, and that's it.
God, verse 28. It's like verse 26. And they brought forth the images out of the house of Baal and burnt them. And they break down the image of Baal and break down the house of Baal and made it a draught house unto this day. This Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel.
He destroyed Baal out of Israel, man. And that's the type of zeal you gotta have to put Baal out of Israel. You know what I mean? But if you read the rest of the story, I still got a gripe with Jehu, man. Of course, eventually Jake gonna be Jake. He still went off. You know what I mean? You so zealous, but you still went off.
Right.
Now, you did one of the greatest acts, but you still went off, man. Set it up, that crap, you know what I mean? Dealt subtly with the heathen, the worshipers of Baal, and then you still went off, man. But this is why, we need to build each other up, continue to love each other as we love ourselves, man. And, read these stories, commemorate our brothers, man, and keep these feast days and read about the amazing acts and things they did for the Most High, for their people, and for the sanctuary, man, and for the temple.
God.
You know what I mean? This is our history. This is our family. And this is what Esau don't want us to know or even have any recollection about and think about or to, just teach to our children. These are the things we need to teach to our kids, man. Not how to put on a shiesty and how to make a switch, how to whatever they doing today, bro. None of the things that's happening in the so-called black community is benefiting the so-called black community. None of the things that's being taught, not how to get on birth control, not how to buy condoms so we can have unsolicited sex with anybody and everybody. You know what I mean? I think they just released the stats or something like that in Philly. Damn, 19,000 people registered for HIV.
I believe
it. Out here, bro.
I believe it.
These are things that we need to come back to. These are laws we need to come back to, man. The woman that you have sex with, that's your wife, man, and she can't lay with nobody else. Right? Sex is marriage. Right? That would stop a lot. If our people actually take heed to that and took that more serious, that the person that you lay with that's the person you're gonna be with for the rest of your days until you die. You would take that much more care about who you lay with. And there will be a lot less YNs out here running around, a lot less demons running around, the young men and women, and just murdering each other, man. Embarrassing themselves on TV, selling out, dressing half naked or dressing naked or not dressing at all. Now it's crazy, bro. It's crazy just to even think about it. But go ahead, what you gonna say?
So, like, I got a precept for you because you mentioned teaching these to the kids, right? So we're gonna get this to your mind real quick, right? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4.
Bro.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
Right.
And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. Thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
Right.
And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes.
Right. God. It shall be as frontlets. It shall be in the forefront of your mind.
Right.
Right. It should be the first thing you think about. And when your kids ask you, "Oh, Daddy, why? What is Day of Simon? What is the Judas Maccabees? What is Tabernacles? What's Day of Atonement? All these things.
What's Purim?
Right. What's Purim? What's First Fruits? What's
Right.
Pentecost? What's the Passover? You know what I mean? These are the things that we need to be teaching our kids, not the things we teaching our youth today, man. These not the things we should be teaching our youth. You know what I mean? Not how to get signed on a record deal, rapping about murdering your own brother and whoring out your own young women. You know what I mean? Not how to, build a switch for your Glock, 3D printing guns and stuff like that, and put them in the community.
Not how to run a scam.
Huh?
Not how to run a scam.
Right. Not how to scam, not how to roll up weed and sell it and package it and all that stuff. All that.
Right.
That stuff has never, ever since weed has entered our community, has never benefited our community, man. Never. Right? And we know that the things and it's all strategic from the white man. Just like the movies. Listen, man, they be telling you what they doing in these movies. They be telling you exactly what they doing. You know what movie I'm thinking about?
Which one?
They clone Tyrone.
Come.
You seen that, right? That's one you seen. I can talk about that.
Come, you talk about it.
All right, come. I gotta check, bro. They clone Tyrone. Remember that movie? Anybody ever see that movie in the chat? I don't know if they can hear us. I ain't got nobody in the chat. Right? They clone Tyrone, right? They said they had like our people in labs underground, bro, just recycling the same dumb nigga every time it's crazy. Like it's like they recycled the same demon, the same demonic, the same demonic Jake back to back to back, bro. And that's all they was doing. And then the mastermind of it was Esau in the labs underground. That's all they was doing in that movie. But they tell you exactly what they be doing, man. It's all strategic. And it's all a plan and a concerted effort to get the so-called Black and Hispanic, to keep us keep us at the lowest. But as long as we commemorating these things and not keeping the commandments, we always gonna be here. Ain't nothing gonna change for the so-called Black community. It's just gonna get worse and worse and worse until we consume. But by the grace of the Most High, through prophecy, we're not consumed.
Right.
And we ought to get the Most High a hand for that, man.
God.
We ought to praise the Most High continually without ceasing, man. Like it says in Sirach, you can never praise Him enough. Because if it wasn't for the Most High, Esau would have destroyed us utterly. He would have wiped us out. You know what I mean? These type of stories is too much of a threat to instill in our young brothers and sisters in this time. To remember things like this is too much of a threat to the so-called white man. And this is why they was on Rodney Hinton's ass to try to intimidate him with all them cops, and not to allow his family to come in there and support him, to destroy him emotionally and mentally. You know what I mean? His brother tried to come in for the emotional report. You know, oh, he just wanted his brother to see him. But what they do, cause a whole ruckus, filled the seats that's supposed to be filled with his family, filled them with damn more pigs, trying to intimidate Rodney Hinton.
So, Lockie, you know what they just showed you? That the cops are the biggest gang in America.
Yep. That's exactly what they are, a gang, man. That's exactly what they are. Slave hunters turned to gang. And
it's Lockie. It's funny. I was just watching the old video from the old camp about Grossman.
Oh, right? Dave Grossman?
Where we had the 11 cop cars roll up on us in Chester.
Oh,
yeah, I was just watched that the other day. That's the kind of the spirit, man.
Yeah, man. You're going way back. Yeah. Dave Grossman. Yep. The cop that he wasn't even a cop. And he said he was in the military, but he didn't do no combat, which is crazy. But he's teaching a course all over the U.S. to police officers all over every department, almost every state, if not every state by now, because this was years ago when we brought this out.
It's about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
You know what I mean? That he's teaching cops how to kill and not feel bad about it, and that it actually leads to great sex with your wife or something like that, right? Ain't that what it said?
God, he said you go into war when you go into work, you go into war.
Right, like you go into war with exactly.
Right.
You need to be amongst the public like you're at war. And this is why when they approach us, they see us, we reaching in the car, like that fear, the fear of us reaching around in the car, you know, that's a specific black person thing. They don't get scared when Esau reaching around in the car or they brother. You see when they pull us over, we can't do nothing. No sudden movements. They ready to kill you.
Right.
They ready to pop off at any moment. If it look like you grabbing something, they gonna shoot you. Listen, they shot a sister in the forehead in her own home over a boiling pot of water, which she put down when they told her to put it down. Shot her in the forehead, man. Murdered her in her own home. And you think they're gonna show you some mercy? Oh, all cops ain't bad, man. Look, bro. I can't sit around and watch my coworker or my boss beat the shit out one of my brothers, and I can't do anything because he's a supervisor or he's a police chief or he a white shirt. I can't sit around and do that. You know what I mean? I can't stand by and watch him pin one of my young sisters down and smash her head into the cement.
It's lucky you'd be in sin if that was the case.
Exactly. You exactly right, You exactly right. But yeah, I ain't gonna drag this on too much long. But yeah, that's, you know, we commemorate the day assignment today.
God.
You know, started last night. You know, remembering the revolting spirit, not to be docile and allow the enemy to continue to spread falsehood and just nonsense within the community. Put them out of your life, man. Put them out of your spirit. Separate from the heathen. Separate from our enemy, Esau, Edom. Right? This kingdom is finished, man. It's falling right before your eyes. Right? Like it says in the book of Luke, I believe. You know, the kingdom divided itself shall not stand. So Satan cast out Satan.
Right.
Right? We watching prophecy come to pass right now. We literally watching this kingdom fall. And if you don't come back to the Most High God, you're going to fall with it. You're going to fall with your oppressor, right? The same one that continue to destroy your brother and continue to destroy your sisters. All right. So that's the day assignment. All right. The Maccabees, first Maccabees, chapter 13. But, you know, shout out to, you know, all the camps and congregations commemorating this day, you know, and by the Most High will, man, when Hamashiach return, you know, we all can be in one sort and we can destroy the heathen together, man. If we all be of that number of the elect and the men that get to recompense that judgment upon the heathen's head, man, with fury.
It's a lot, King. It's gonna be with glorified bodies too, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what powers you might have in that day.
Hey, look. Oh, let me get this precept real quick.
Bring it out.
You just reminded me. You just reminded me. I think it's in Amos. I think it's Amos 5. It's Amos 5. Amos. Let me see. Salakia. He says it's gonna be. Oh, here we go. It's in Micah. My bad. Micah, right? Micah 5:15. Right. It says, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Talk about the end times. Such as they have not heard, he's going to execute fury and vengeance.
Right.
Anger. So it's going to be some judgment that you didn't even know was possible. Something that could happen to a body like that. You know what I mean? Even in the second Ezra say he's going to beat them to a powder.
Hey man, he said, what is it? He said, I'm gonna do. Y'all gonna be acting with my anger.
Right. Yeah,
right.
He's really going to have to download his anger out. You know.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not angry enough, man. So-called black people ain't angry enough. We need more oppression. We need more stuff like this to happen so we could have, that spirit riled up in us, that the same spirit that was on Simon, man.
And when Slaki, when you read Psalm 7:11, it says the Lord is angry with the wicked every day.
Yup. Every single day, man. But it's like we just don't get it, man. We too forgiving. We want to love the heathen. We want to love them to our own detriment, to where we don't even want to make them mad. Oh, they didn't mean it, because the thing is, if all our people gather together right now and revolted against Esau, it will fail immediately. Because as soon as Jake get uncomfortable in a hard situation, they gonna give up the ghost, bro. As soon as they gotta eat a can of beans that ain't warm, they gonna give up the ghost, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? This yeah, man. But this is a great day, y'all. But happy day of Simon. You know what I mean? Commemorating our forefathers. But other than that, that's it. That's all I wanted to bring out. If anybody else wanted to say something, Kai, I thought you wanted to say something.
Nah, it's all good. Let's wrap it up.
Okay, Khan, all praises. All right, let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. We're gonna close out with that. Actually, you know what? Give me Sirach 4 and 28. Let's close out with that. Sirach chapter 4, verse 28.
I got you.
Khan, bring it out mighty. This
is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
There is one alone, and there is not a second, yet he hath neither child nor brother. Yet is there no end of all his labor, neither is his eye satisfied with riches, neither saith he.
That's
whom do I?
Huh?
I got it, King.
Okay, Con, bring it up.
Con, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
Right? Strive for the truth unto death. This is what Mattathias did, right? This is what Maccabees did, and all his brethren. This is what Simon did. This is what John Hyrcanus did, right? Going back to that. This is what David did. Saul did, right? Go ahead.
Mattathias had to kill his own people.
Right. Yeah. Right. Slaying coons, man. Hey, for real, slaying coons. That's how serious these. Hey, Jehu, that's what Jehu did. Strive for the truth unto death, man. Right, acting like you stole a party for the Baal worshippers and you slaying them all.
Like
I say, strive for the truth unto death.
Right.
And the Most High shall fight for you. Right. You ain't got to lift a finger. The Most High is going to fight for you. right? This is what we got to understand in these last days. But with that, I'm Brother Yeshua with the Servants, Philly.
Brother Mattathiah.
Con and go ahead. Brother Makai, young Makai. All right. So we're gonna close out. Death to America and Mawaf Wabba
Ball.
Con. Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.
Hey, eat, drink, and be merry, man. I know it's sunset again, but I mean, enjoy this day, man. Remember our forefathers. Remember the things that they've done for our people, man, and keep that revolting spirit alive, y'all. You know what I mean? Don't let that spirit die. As soon as we do, we gonna be in the same predicament we've been in the past 400 years, and still under the foot of Esau. And keep the commandments, man, unto death. But with that, shalom.
Shalom.